Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. And it is a sunny day. It is really bright out here. So I'm just out getting the blood moving. Going for a walk. Got a client meeting in a little bit for a new website. He owns a boxing ring and has a store where he sells equipment. So he needs a web store set up along with a site for his boxing ring business. And we'll see if that can work out. I just walked by a house here. Dinky little house just like mine. Single car garage filled with crap in there. And in between it all, a red Carrera. The car is easily worth twice the house and probably everything in it. So it's just going to be a normal day today after I get back from my appointment, which should be probably 2.5 hours or so. It's just going to be a lot of shooting. Got to send over some proofs to the second cigar client. Make sure he's happy with the look he wants, and then I'll run through the rest of his batch tonight or tomorrow. There's no huge hurry. I've got an appointment to return everything. Because I got to pick up the wife down at the airport next week. I think it's Wednesday. I got to double check the schedule. But I'll wrap it up with going down to drop his stuff off, because it's another half an hour past the airport. I also have to stop back at the other photographer's studio that I shot with for the Hindu ceremony to pick up a compact flash card that I lent her. Alright, coming back on the house. I'm going to take a shower, get ready for this appointment. I just made an impulse buy. I've been trying to learn guitar over the past, year or so, but it's been quite a while since I've even picked it up because I just haven't had time. Got myself a nice used guitar and completely gutted it, redid the whole thing, figured everything out, and had a really good time doing that, and got a nice amp. But I've been learning through Rocksmith, and now Rocksmith 2014 came out, and it looks like it's got some really nice improvements. But I didn't want to spend $60 on it because I haven't even played through the original Rocksmith. But if you go on slickdeals.net right now, there's a code where you can get it for half off. So I just scored it for under $30. So it's downloading, and I don't know when I'll have time to really play it some more, but it looks really cool, and for that kind of discount, I couldn't pass it up. So I've got a little bit of time here, and I figured I'd show you guys a little bit about Rocksmith, since some of you might be interested. Basically, I just wanted to learn guitar. I suck at it, haven't had any real time to do it yet, but here's my thought process. This is a really cheap Stratocaster style body. It is made by Fender. It's called their Starcaster, and it's nothing great. It's made in China, but it functions. If you were to plug this into a real amplifier and compare it to a real model Stratocaster, it would sound terrible. The pickups are very cheap, and there's nothing special about the neck or the frets or the tuners or anything. But I am not plugging this into a real amplifier. The amplifier I bought is called a modeling amplifier, which means it takes the input from the guitar, and it really doesn't matter what guitar you plug into it. It completely changes the sound. It's got tons of digital stuff that it does to it. And it happens to be a Mustang 1, I believe. And it was a great deal. Got it for $100 on sale. Awesome amp for what it is. But I really bought this, and I got this used for $60. I put on a fresh set of strings. I learned how to do the complete setup, and incidentally, I learned how to do that from a guy on YouTube called Dave's World of Fun Stuff. That's his channel name. Awesome guy. He has tons of videos up there on everything. From the mundane to the exotic. He does tons and tons of guitar repair stuff. So if you're at all into that, it's just really entertaining. Go check out his channel. And incidentally, he got Rocksmith 2014, I want to say a few weeks ago. Love you, Dave, but you're not a computer guy. I'm going to show you what you actually needed to do to get this thing working really well. Because like I said, I had used Rocksmith, the original, for quite some time and had a lot of fun with it, and then time ran out, and I haven't picked this up, and it's got dust on it. Okay, it's been that long. Ooh, that's bad. So the idea behind Rocksmith is you plug in a guitar, any guitar, and they sell Rocksmith, at least the old one, probably the new one too, in multiple configurations. You can get it complete with a guitar, with the interface cable here, which goes between the guitar and your computer, and the software. Or you can get just the software. You can get it on disc, you can get it in the store, or you can do it like I did, download it directly through Steam, which is a program that digitally downloads programs, other games. And I just got this cable off of Amazon. You can buy it separately. It was like 15 bucks. So that way, if, like I just did, you get a sale on the software, you can save some cash. Because if you buy the game with the cable in the store, it's like 70, 75 bucks. You just buy the game in the store, it's 60 bucks. Normally you can download the game for 60 bucks, but I got it on sale today for 30. So that was a good deal. And of course I already had the cable from the first version. I didn't need to buy another cable. So that's how you save money, by getting the multiple configurations. So the cable is nothing more than a USB cable, really. It plugs directly into your guitar. The other end plugs directly into your computer with a USB cable. Now, this is available on consoles, which generally work a little bit better than PCs, because there are some issues. Obviously, when you're playing music on a guitar and you're trying to sync with music playing on your computer or on your console, they have to be really closely matched, because the whole premise of this thing is to, strike the notes at exactly the right time. So there are some technical issues that you have to be aware of, more so on the PC side. And this is only for PCs, not available for Mac, I believe. You do have to have a fairly good computer. It can't be anything slow. Laptops generally don't work that well for this. It helps if you have a very recent PC. One big tip is plug the USB cable directly into a port on the computer. Don't go through a hub. I've got hubs in my monitors. Some people have hubs on their desktops. You might have one off of some other device. Don't plug into that, because that introduces more delay. So plug it directly into your computer. Doesn't matter if it's USB 2 or 3, just as long as it's one directly on your motherboard. And then, like I said, the other end just goes into your guitar. So this is why it doesn't matter what guitar you have, this just becomes a controller. That's it. It doesn't matter what strings you have on it. It doesn't matter what pickups you have on it. None of the actual musical sound coming out of whatever guitar you're using is going through the game. Nothing. The game produces all the sound itself, just like my modeling amp does. So I can use one of these really cheap guitars as long as it plays well, and that's the key. I didn't want to spend a ton of money to learn how to play guitar, so I got this, and I got this guitar working really well. It plays really well. I know, because I actually took lessons from a real guitar teacher, and he played this. And he said it's fine, and he played it fine. It sounded great. So I know that any mistakes I make are on me, not the guitar. But it works. The frets are all good. The strings are all good. It's a good guitar to use as a controller. Not one I would want to play live, not one any guitarist or any real musician would want to play, but I'm not doing that. So there we go. To fire up the game, you know what? I'm going to do that in the next clip, because I'm running a little short on time. But I'll show you how to fire up the game. There are a couple quirky little things I've noticed with it since the last version, but it's a one-time setup thing. I'll talk about that later. 2:02, this guy better not be a no-call, no-show. Texted him 10 minutes ago, I'm here. Waiting at Starbucks. My God, Walmart is packed. I've never seen it this full. What the heck is going on? I mean, I don't usually shop during the day, and it's a Sunday, but still. Must be like Social Security, food stamp, and holiday sale day all at once. Well, the asshole was a no-call, no-show for the website meeting, so I'm going to stop by and get some groceries. Stop by Sweet Bay after this, get some fish. At least get something out of the wasted trip. So I went to Sam's the other day for coffee filters and they were out. So was Walmart. Is there a run on coffee filters or something? I always seem to catch the good sales. Salmon was on sale again for $7, so I got I don't know, about 7 pounds. 2 big fillets. I'll smoke those up. Got some coffee, and finally filters. Woohoo! Got a little tiny sub there for lunch because the salmon won't be ready for several hours. So I am good to go for lunch and dinner. Okay, got a full chimney of coal started here. Now I got to clean the grill, clean my fish holder, and I'm going with an apple wood today. So I got to soak those a bit. I got some little chips, and then I got to prep the fish. Well, it's about 4 o'clock now, and in about 3 hours I should have 7 pounds of awesome. Got the fish going here, and like I said, I went with applewood this time, so I should get a little bit of a sweetness, and I'm doing it slightly differently than I normally do. I did a little bit of coarse salt, some black pepper, and some garlic powder. So introducing a little bit of a different flavor in here, and those should smoke up really well. Can't wait to try them. Got the rest of my wood down here, and I'll put a handful on every half hour or so, but you can see it pours off a real good amount of smoke. If I'm doing it really low and slow, like I'm doing ribs, you don't want to see this much smoke coming out. You want to see just a little bit of a trickle. But with faster things like fish, I pour the smoke on because there isn't that much time for it to absorb the flavor. Alright, well, let's see. I guess I'll continue on with Rocksmith now, and then I gotta get out here and do some cigar reviews and do some shooting. Alright, so let's take a look at Rocksmith 2014. I have not played this at all yet. Plug in the guitar. Got the cable already plugged into the computer. Fire it up. We just launch it through Steam. And a difference between the original and 2014 is 2014 uses another online tracker application called Uplay, and that's through the publisher Ubisoft. And Steam will track your achievements as you play games and do certain things in them, and gets you a high score and stuff like that. And Uplay also does that, but only for its games. So it's kind of going through 2 different things just to get into the game. So here we're launched, and it takes you through this little intro. Yes, you have to sit through it. Some games let you skip, hitting escape or whatever, but not this one. So it gets in here. Make sure it's not too loud. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, yes, yes. Lots of advertising. Alright, here we go. Enter to begin. New profile. That'd be me. So now it's making my in-game profile. Have you played Rocksmith before? I'm going to say no, just so we can go through kind of the tutorials here, because I'm not sure if some things have changed since the original version. So I don't want to assume anything. And like I said, this is available on consoles as well, so you would just be using your controller pad to go through all of this stuff. How well do you play guitar? I don't, so I'm going to say beginner. Now you can choose lead guitar, rhythm, or bass guitar. The old version only had guitar or bass, so lead and rhythm, I'll tell you what, I'm not even 100% sure what the differences are between the two. I mean, I can take an educated guess, but that's just assuming. So it says under lead guitar, you want to be out in front with flashy riffs and shreddy solos, then lead is for you. Okay, and rhythm says, and it's speaking it to you, chords and riffs, and this is more like solos. Well, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking rhythm might be a better place to start. And I am right-handed. And grab a pick here. I have a 6 inline headstock. I have no idea why it's asking me for that. Alright, so now it's going to ask to calibrate the device. Play hard and fast and make some noise. Okay, so it's basically looking for a signal now to make sure you've got a guitar plugged in correctly. So now it just wants me to make some noise. Mute the strings. Now make some noise. Okay, so now it knows what the loudest output my guitar is giving is and the quietest. And that's obviously to balance the volume between your guitar and the game. So now we're going to go through tuning, and that's obviously to make sure that the guitar is in tune, so you're actually playing the correct notes. Now the original version had a really cool tuner. Worked flawlessly. You strum it, you adjusted it up or down, and it shows you real time what it's doing. So now it's saying play the highlighted string till the needle is at 0. So it wants me to play the top E, the lowest note, so I'm going to go ahead and hit that. Oops, and I hit the other ones too. I told you I knew. And it's still in tune. I still haven't even memorized the string names. E, A, D, G, B, E. One day I'll get it. So now I want to do the A string. Still in tune. I'm surprised these are still in tune from last time, although it hasn't been played. It's just been sitting on the wall. Okay, that one's out of tune, so we need to raise that up. No, we need to lower it. My mistake. Here we go. Now the G. And the B. It's a little flat. Let's bring it up. And the last E. Little. There we go. Okay, now we're in tune. And one annoying thing about the original was it made you do that. It made you verify your tuning before you started basically any major section of the game. Now I've heard that the new one doesn't make you do that, so that would be cool. It was just kind of annoying because it doesn't go out of tune that easily, especially in between songs you're playing. This pick feels a little soft. There we go. So now it's explaining where to put your fingers to play the game. Second note of the A string. It's telling me what an open note is. It's a much better interface than the original version. The original is kind of cartoonish, and this is more like I don't know, like a virtual reality kind of thing. It's a little more realistic. Just the way it looks. What do you want me to play? Open note A string. Few notes in a row. Oh boy. What do you want? Oh, okay, so now I get it. This is showing me what string. I was wondering what string it wanted me to play, and then this is showing me, oh, that's a totally different interface. Oh my god. Alright, well, this is going to take some getting used to. The old one, it was just a vertical thing. It showed everything on one. Okay. So you want... Nope, you still want the A. Oh boy. Yeah, see, this is where I'd have to actually concentrate. I'm totally new to this interface. Okay, so anyway, this is the basics of how you play it. And let's see what else it's got here through the menus. It's just taking me through a basic tutorial, and I will go through this later on. Should be a main menu here. Now, a cool thing is with this, it's not just playing song, tutorials, that kind of thing. You got what are called mini games. And they help you do things like build up your muscle memory, playing scales, finding the notes. Okay, I guess I have to say yes. I'll go through this later. Let's try lead, right-handed, 6 in line. Okay, well, I guess it makes you go through all that the first time to calibrate it. But anyway, you get the basics. One important thing is you do have to have the correct setup, because some computers, if you're using an old audio card, or if you're going through some kind of USB audio device, or if you're on a console and you're using an external stereo system, it matters how you're physically hooking things up with your cables, because that can introduce some delay, and that can really make you frustrated when you're playing and you see it on the screen, but it's not playing at the correct time. And that's because of the delays in the audio. So, I mean, there's no one cut and dry answer to fixing all that. And I did have a little bit of an issue the very first time I fired it up, but there is a calibration inside the game itself to help with that. And I only had to do it once, and it was fixed. It's really not that big of a deal. But you can see that, you know, you're just using the guitar as your controller, and after I get this done, I'll go through the calibration and the tutorials and all that so I can actually get into the game, and later on I'll show you more of actually playing the game once I can really kind of get the hang of the basics here and actually show you how to play it. Because right now I'm just kind of like stumbling through this for the first time, but I wanted to show you what it looks like. And it's really cool, it's really simple, it's very inexpensive. If you've got any kind of guitar, I would highly recommend picking it up. Even at full price, it's really fun. So that's that. Someday when I have a lot of regular time, I will definitely learn to play properly and have some more fun. Because I love the sound of the guitar, I love trying to play it, but it's something that you cannot substitute time for. It takes instinct and muscle memory and lots of practice, and there's nothing you can do to eliminate having to play hours and hours every single week, constantly, consistently, to learn to do it well. That's, you know, I'm not a natural musician by any stretch of the imagination, but, you know, I did have moments there the last time I was going through this, and I would start to just know where my fingers were. And it's like, oh, that is so cool. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to look. It's like touch typing. Keyboard, you know, I did learn to actually type in high school and went through all that BS. But I don't sit there and word process. I'm not a secretary. There are so many other things you do on a keyboard these days with a computer and interfaces and everything. You don't type. But what's cool is, if I don't think about it, I can actually type, just completely instinctively. And it blows me away every time I realize I'm doing it. Because usually I'm looking down and I've got my own keyboard sequence. I type very fast and very accurately most of the time, but I can type without looking, and it blows me away that I can do that. So there's no substitute for time and practice, and well, you all know what my schedule's like, so it is what it is. Anyway, speaking of that, I've got more work to do. I've got to go shoot some proofs now, send them off to the cigar client. Hopefully they'll get back to me real quick. I can knock those out probably tonight or tomorrow, depending on when they get back to me. And now I've got to go out back and do some more filming. Yay! Douchebag redneck neighbor and the two douchebag redneck neighbors next to him been running this stupid ATV up and down the street for like the last hour, and the dumbass standing up just nearly crashed it. He did a wheelie and ended up scraping on the ground, smashed in the exhaust, burnt a hole through his jeans, through his underwear, and he's got 2 huge rosy road rashes right on his ass. Oh, I feel so bad for him. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Oh man, I wish you guys could smell this. This is just a mountain of beautiful, oily smoked salmon. Absolutely delicious. Got to taste test it here. Whew, it's hot. Just flakes off. Look at that. Totally moist. Just melts in your mouth. So good for you too. Want to try some, Chloe? There you go. Oh yeah, it's good for you. Puppy approved. See you guys tomorrow.